Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to be doing a brief stock analysis of PayPal, and just so you know in advance, this is not going to be an in-depth look at their financials, but more a overview of the company and a general outlook of the company for years to come. The very first thing I wanted to do is take a look at the stock growth, and the stock actually has not even been publicly traded for the last 5 years. So in about the last 4 years, or a little over 4 years, we've seen over 190% growth, which is absolutely fantastic for PayPal. And then if we take a look at revenue and earnings for the last 4 years, they've been able to increase it year over year, increasing earnings by just a little bit each year, and then almost doubling revenue in the last 4 years. As you can see in 2015, only about $9 billion in revenue, and then in 2018, almost $16 billion in revenues. And then if we just look at the last 4 quarters, they've increased earnings quarter over quarter for the last 4 quarters, with revenues being relatively steady. If you could not already tell, I am quite bullish on PayPal, and if it's actually not because of their service and their platform exactly. They actually acquired Venmo in 2015, and Venmo is why I'm so bullish on PayPal. And if you don't know what Venmo is, it is basically just an instant transfer, or it could be a few days for a transfer if you wanted to do it free, and Venmo gets the transaction fee, and it's even if you have different banks, you can just instantly transfer funds from one person to the other, and it is extremely big in colleges all across the country. You can't even really get by without going out and using Venmo, because just a lot of people don't carry cash anymore. People that are in college now are probably going to continue using Venmo even after college, and probably even use it for bigger funds. As we just saw, they were transferring $1,350, and the people incoming to college are going to continue to use Venmo as well. So I think Venmo is just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And then Venmo also, just a couple of years ago, released this Venmo card, and that's actually 50% of their revenues right now is from the Venmo card. So some explosive growth for them right now. And Venmo was actually acquired by Braintree in 2013, and then PayPal acquired Braintree in 2015. So what Braintree does is they collect a transaction fee for a lot of e-commerce companies, kind of like MasterCard or Visa card would do for a lot of banks all across the country. So Braintree definitely doing extremely well, and I love Braintree's business model. I am very bullish on both Visa and MasterCard. PayPal also owns iZettle and iZettle products, and like me, you've probably never heard of iZettle, but it's basically this product right here where individual vendors can own this product and take money from people using cards if they don't have cash. And this is much bigger in the UK right now and in Europe, which is probably why you haven't heard of it. And I actually was having a really hard time finding how big iZettle is as a part of all of PayPal. So it's really hard to say how much growth iZettle is going to be for PayPal, but still definitely some more great products owned by PayPal. PayPal is taking on the big banks because of all of these services they're providing. Just 10 years ago, banks were providing all of these services and PayPal was still extremely small, but PayPal is tapping into this trillion-dollar business, and I think it's something that is definitely good to be a part of. Definitely do your own research on it before getting involved, but I definitely recommend it for what it's worth. Here's a really cool chart I found. Sorry, it's a little bit cut off here. That's Bank of America on the left and JP Morgan Chase right after that. But basically what it shows is the top 25 US demand deposit amounts, and then you have PayPal there in 21st place, I believe. And that's incredible that it's in 21st place versus all of these billion-dollar market cap banks. PayPal is growing faster than most, if not all, of the banks on this list, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see what all of these banks can do to combat PayPal stealing a lot of their market share. Next up, I just wanted to take a look at a couple of points made by an analyst at Morningstar who gave PayPal a buy rating. So the first point is that there is still plenty of runway for growth in electronic payments because they were only surpassed by cash payments on a global basis just a couple of years ago. And with PayPal being the biggest in payment transfers, I think there is still tons and tons of room for PayPal to grow for decades to come. And then the scalable nature of the business should allow PayPal to improve its margins over time. So what that means is that the transaction fees in PayPal and Venmo and all of their other services are tiny right now, so they will be able to scale that in the future if banks or another competitor doesn't come around. And Venmo was actually a huge competitor for PayPal back in 2013 through 2015, and that's why they actually acquired them. So if they do get a competitor, that would be just amazing if PayPal was able to come along and acquire that company. And then the big banks are not going to be able to really compete with PayPal because there's so much competition among the banks. And then I also just wanted to take a look at the 3 sell points by an analyst at Morningstar. The first one is just basically talking about how they can come into competition with some really big competitors such as the big banks in the future, like I just talked about. And then the second one is Alipay and WeChat provide examples of how governments could favor local players, and this could shut PayPal out of some emerging market opportunities. It's definitely bad that PayPal may not be able to expand in some countries because the governments favor the local companies and the local banks, but I think PayPal is still going to be able to make a ton of money in the countries such as Europe, North America, that they are going to be able to grow in. And if they're now able to grow in India and China, that is extremely unfortunate for PayPal, but I think there's still tons of room to grow even if they're not able to grow in those countries. And then the last point is opportunities to monetize Venmo could be limited. So Venmo is currently monetized and makes money in 3 different ways with Pay with Venmo, the instant transfers, and the Venmo card. So I'm not exactly sure what that point was talking about. Maybe that the opportunities to monetize it could be not easily scalable. Either way, I disagree with that point made by the analyst. Please let me know if you have any questions about PayPal or even just stocks in general in the comments down below. And please come check out my channel for a lot of other brief stock analysis videos like this one that I've done, and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching.